Hello all, we are here for one more lesson of this 4MCAD training course, and the topic for today it is entity snaps. So it's quite easy to show and to explain, I think. I will make a couple of entities, very easy entities, a couple of lines, and we can do also one circle. So these entity snaps are drawing aids that we can have on or off. First we can assess them through this function here. Okay, if this is yellowed, then it is turned on, or if I click, it is turned off. Okay, besides, I can do a click with my right mouse button and then do the settings, and the settings will open this dialog box, which is basically the same that I can access also through tools drawing aids that we've seen previously, and we can access this functionality. And we can have this also turn it on or off with this disable or enable. Okay, so these entity snaps, if they are on, then the program will look into these different modes here, and it will look for the ones that are on. So for example, let me put all of these off with the exception of the endpoint. So every time it is on, so every time I start to draw or to look for something, when I fly over the entities, you see it will look for the endpoints of entities. No, not anyone, not any other mode, only the endpoint. Let's go there again, and this is the idea. Okay, you set what you want to get, so you have different modes and all of them are quite easy to understand. So endpoint of entities, the nearest point, it is something that when you are on top of one entity, you see it will start to look for each of the individual possibilities on top of an entity, so it is nearest. This is not good to be on, because it will make your system very slow. You have others, like for example perpendicular, it is easy. Quadrant, I will show you. Parallel also, it is quite easy. You can make the same with other commands. So quadrant and center, for example, I forgot to turn this on. Quadrant, center. So when we make one line, the quadrants look for this. Sorry, and you see when I have the nearest, so the system basically the nearest will overcome all the other possibilities. So quadrant are these points here, and this one here, and the center, okay, will find you the center. You have other possibilities also. I will take this off. Midpoint of entities, node, it is something that will look you for an entity point, and it is specifically to find that entity. I don't have any points here, but I can draw, for example, one point, a single point, and put it here. So you see this little mark, it is an entity, a point. So if I say now node, I'll take the quadrants off. If I say now, when I fly over, it finds me that entity. Besides, I have also the tangent, the intersection. The intersection, it is something that will find the intersection of entities, the crossing of entities. I have also the apparent intersection, and the apparent intersection, if we are working on 2D plane, which is the case, then it will find these intersections. But basically, if I am working in 3D environment, I can have, for example, this circle on a level 0 and these lines on a level 100. So they will not cross effectively, but if you see them in this view, then they are crossing. So it is a kind of intersection on a planar view. So it is a little different, but the result, it is the same. Besides, we have the insertion. This is for blocks or text, and this is the point that acts as the insertion point. Okay, I will not show because some of these concepts are things that we are going to see later. And the extension, it is something that you can extend virtually an entity to cross to another one. So besides, you can have this select all or clear all, whatever you want. And you have the display options that allow you to fly over the entities or show these snap settings on your cursor. So we have also this possibility to show the tooltips, to set the size of the cursor, colors, and so on. Another very important thing to see and to learn, it is that each of these different modes has a different symbol. So let me take 2 or 3 different ones. So when I try, so you see center, it's a round thing, the intersection, it's a cross, the end point, it is a square. So you need to learn to see these different modes. And the first thing I told you when we started with this, it was that this can be turned on or off. So one of the things that I like to work when I'm using these snaps, if the drawing it is simple, then I can have this automatic mode which is doing at this moment. But I can use this on another way, which is make this off, so it's not finding any points, and I can work like this. I've asked to draw a line. Now I need to get, for example, this endpoint, and instead of making this on, I can do something like clicking in my shift on the keyboard, doing, and while clicking, making a click with my right mouse button, and I get this toolbar that appears me temporarily. First, I must present my apologies because this is not in English, but this is a mistake from this specific version. Okay. So now I can choose the snap mode I want only for this point entry. So I will use this. This is the corresponding endpoint that you are seeing in Portuguese on the case. So I will click endpoint, and now it will look me only for endpoints. Okay, so click. You see, it is asking me now for the second point, but it's not finding any other help because in fact this is turned off. Thing that you can do also, if you see in this help, with the option F3 in your F functions on the keyboard. Also, I forgot to mention this when we started the lesson. So If I need another help again to make an entry on the second point, I will do the same procedure. So shift with right mouse button and, for example, center. And now choosing my circle, center, and it is done. So this is a very nice way to work with these modes, because and I like to work like this when the drawing it's becoming complex. So it is another idea to help you with these drawing aids. You can have them also, drawing aids. You can reach the same dialog box also if you do the change settings for, instead of snap and grid, entity snaps. So you are on the exact same point as you were coming through here and do the settings directly. So these are the entity snaps. I hope these explanations were clear. Any questions, you know how to reach us.